Welcome to Your Next Bold Move. Our show is all about helping you take your next step, whether it's career or relationships or life in general. Hello, and welcome to Your Next Bold Move. My name is Wendy Capland. Today's show is about getting your career on track. Our guest is Lauran Star. She's a successful author, speaker, and coach. We are so delighted to have her here today and look forward to her sharing her wisdom with us about careers and your vision. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
I've spent about 15 years in leadership, various leadership and sales positions with several Fortune 500 companies. Really enjoyed that work, but during that stint of time, I took some time off to raise my children. And when I decided to go back into sales and leadership, I found that corporate America really changed. The leaders that we had back when I first got in the industry were more about empowerment. And it shifted as organizations became more profitable. They wanted leaders that would manage their people. It wasn't about empowering the employee or even being an empowered leader, which was challenging for me because I was an empowering leader, not a manager. So one fine evening, and this really was the turning point, went back to work, kids at home, met with my old mentor and very close personal friend. And we were sitting there talking, and he said to me, Lauran, part of your problem is that you're part of the problem. A good leader is someone that can step back, take those rose-colored glasses off, and think bigger. And he said, at this point in your career, do you want to continue to be part of the problem, hitting your head against the wall, working with an organization that doesn't want to change, or do you want to now create a solution? So I then sat down and I probably for the first time in my life created my vision. What do I want? What do I want out of a business, out of my personal life? And how do I get this all together and get on a track that is fulfilling?
Leaving corporate America.
Leaving corporate America
is a huge step.
Oh my gosh. So I then went back to school and finished my master's in organizational psychology. My vision is to empower men and women, both in the boardroom, which is the leadership arm, as well as their bedroom. And the bedroom represents their home life. So it's empowering both so you have a full, well-rounded life. It does come down to emotional intelligence.
So EI, emotional intelligence, is a term that's used a lot. Explain what that is.
Emotional intelligence is how we relate to each other. It's that personal connection of relationships, both in work and outside of work. So how are you relating to your family? How are you relating to your friends? And then when you bring it into an organization, how are you relating to the organization?
Give an example of somebody maybe that you worked with or that you know that might have been in conflict with the organization that they're
Absolutely. So very wonderful and talented woman was working for a large company. However, her personal vision was to have more time at home. She wanted to be a mom first. And she wanted to raise her kids more, and she wanted to coach, and she just wanted to be there. However, the position that she had and the organizational's vision and demand on her was stopping her from doing that. And it came down to, well, what is your happiness vision? Like, what is the one thing that you want to do? And believe it or not, her one thing was to make cupcakes. I want my own cupcake store. Here's a woman with her master's degree in business, her MBA, on the fast track with an organization who's stepping back and saying,
I want to make cupcakes.
I want to make cupcakes. Just because you're on that fast track doesn't mean you have to stay on that fast track.
I heard you say happiness vision. So
her happiness
vision.
It
sounds like there are different levels of the vision thing, right? So how does somebody start?
Somebody starts by sitting down and figures out, well, what will make me happy? So my vision is to be empowering. Is that my whole vision? No, but that's what gets me jazzed in the morning. And then we take it and break it down into bite-sized pieces. Well, what is the financial component of that? How much time do I want to spend on this? Then you can take it even further and make another bite-sized piece of what is my end goal. And then you break those bites down smaller. So if we're talking about the work and home balance.
Yep.
Well, how many hours a week do you want to work?
Yep.
That should directly bite into your finances. And then when you're home, what do you want to do when you're at home? What's going to fulfill you there? And it's putting all of that together. So that's what we did, is we sat down and she said, my vision is just to be home more. I love making cupcakes, and I would love to own my own cupcake store where I set my hours, I take the profits, I hire out. Fabulous. Well, now she's got one of the most successful cupcake companies in New Hampshire. Seriously.
Good for her.
Yeah.
There's somebody that I know in my family who is just a stunning artist.
Okay.
And she really can't make a living at it. And so she got a job,
Mm-hmm.
so she has her income, and she spent a lot of her personal time drawing and painting. But she couldn't afford to do it as a full-time. Maybe you would have different advice for her than she had for herself.
Absolutely. She's not alone. Ideally, what did I want to do? I just want to write. But is that going to pay my bills?
Right, so this is what we're talking about, right?
So my advice to her is to do what I did. So I hired a coach and said, this is what I want to do. This is my thought process. And she said, now let's build up your business focused around your writing. So your family member that paints, how do we then take her vision of being a painter, and now how do we build a business model around that? Okay, so she likes to paint. Well, did she look at possibly doing training classes in painting in the library? Is she going to get rich off that? No. But when you factor it in with potentially her selling her artwork, now you've increased your income bar. Okay, what else can we do? How about a gallery for unknown painters?
So people can hire you as their coach.
Absolutely.
To help them sort this through.
Go right to my website. There's a contact page right on there.
Lauran
Star, LauransTar.com. Ask questions, and I don't want people to think that, oh gosh, okay, so if I create my vision, now I've got to go get a whole new career.
All right.
Not at all.
So give people some homework.
So your first assignment is to sit down and create your vision, and then start breaking that down. Once you understand what your vision is,
right,
then take a look at your organization's vision.
What if you don't know?
You have to ask yourself, if you could do anything in the world, what would it be, regardless of income? That's step one.
Okay, step two.
Look at the organization's vision, and then see if you can bridge the two. So if your personal vision is to say, I want to work with special needs children, and you're working for a company that manufactures widgets. So how do we take your vision and bridge it into the organization's vision? This is my organization. We make widgets. The organization's vision is to be as profitable as possible in widget making. My vision is to work with special needs children. So how do I bridge the two without quitting my day job? Okay, create a plan. Plan on speaking with leadership about creating an intern program or creating a sponsorship for Special Olympics or...
Okay, so creating a plan. Yeah, that is just great.
And hire a coach. For the longest time in the corporate world, we didn't call it coaching, we called it mentoring.
Yes.
And men did this incredibly well. They mentor extremely well with other men. And then the flip side of that, women and women mentoring doesn't happen.
One of the organizations that I work in, the Magic Parties, we're a support network for women who are making their next bold move. And so I'm living how women can better support each other and teaching women how to do that.
Absolutely.
So what is a message that you want to leave people with?
Life is too short to follow someone else's vision.
And if people are interested in having you come into their organization to speak,
yes, absolutely,
or to do consulting work, they can reach you the same way.
Same place.
And your book is called?
Leap Forward, Gaining Emotional Intelligence, Tips for Today's Woman.
Thank you for joining us today. And in addition to the resources and ideas that Lauran shared with us, you can also go online to two of our websites and join our community for some free support and inspiration. We can be found at visionquestconsulting.com and themagicparties.com. A big thank you again to Lauran for being with us. And thanks to you, our listeners. You are meant to go forth in the world to use your gifts and talents and to use and figure out what's next for you and have a little fun exploring. what's waiting to burst forth into your next bold move. Thank you for joining us.